Hello, it's Colette. Welcome back to my channel, and this is the weekly tarot card for the week commencing Monday the 24th of September 2018, and it's the Judgment card. Now, in the original Judgment card in the Rider-Waite deck, it has Angel Gabriel with a trumpet calling the dead out of their graves and up to Judgment Day. It's quite a spooky looking card, but it's really quite an intense one of, this is it, come up, join us. And the general energy of the Judgment card, just in general, all over the place, is a feeling of almost going up a level spiritually, or with understanding, or with enlightenment, and actually enjoying the sense of leaving the past behind, whether that be past mistakes, whether you've atoned for sins, whether you need to come clean or whatever. It's just, it allows us, if we can, to dump what no longer serves us. So in the bigger picture, it can be a big sigh of relief card, because anything you've been carrying, or anything that has worried you, or any doubts you've had about yourself, this is a card of forgiveness. And maybe it's time to forgive yourself and forgive others as well. Sometimes we should forgive more. Maybe not forget, but forgive. There's a big difference. Anyway, so the Judgment card in the Rider deck, it's got this beautiful creature, quite angelic. She's got the trumpet sort of mouthpiece there, which matches up with the original Rider-Waite decks. She's just serene, isn't she? I mean, can you imagine if she appeared in front of you? That sort of serenity, but almost a direct stare. So the Judgment card is very much one. Come on up and say hello then, Nellie. Okay, sorry. She wants to say hello. There she is. There's Nellie. Hey, see, who's that? Right. So Nellie would like the Judgment card because it means that all the naughty things she's done in the last week can be put behind her. And all the licking and all the sort of trying to steal chocolate out the bin and stuff like that, they can all be put behind you, and you can atone for your sins now. Oh no, you're a sinner, aren't you? Repent now. Anyway, go settle down. Go settle down. So anyway, that's for Nellie's fans, that's Nellie. She's going to use the Judgment card not to be naughty next week and the week ahead. In general, as I say, the Judgment, it's like Judgment Day. The original tarot card was about that essence of Judgment Day. You're going to stand before your Maker. And in standing before your Maker, how do you feel? If you look back at your life, have you done the right things? Have you stood up and been counted when you needed to be? And if you haven't, this tarot card allows us to look at those things and maybe make them right. And that can sometimes be hard. That can be hard when we bring out, sometimes we're looking back the way, because a lot of the time we're told don't look back the way. But with the Judgment card, in a way, we can see resurrection ahead of us in maybe different areas of life this week ahead. But for a resurrection, we have to be aware of what we're resurrecting from. So it won't do any harm to look at the past, to look at your own past, where there's been things that maybe happened that you needed to maybe get out of your system, things that you needed to forgive, people that you needed to forgive, yourself, if you think maybe career hasn't gone according to plan, or this, that and the next thing, forgive and be ready to resurrect to the next level of whatever area this card hits you in. But in general, it's a time for standing by what you hold dear inside, standing up and being counted, and being proud of your achievements, being proud of what you needed to say and do, and enjoy a very spiritual aspect of that. And sometimes when we stand up and are counted, it makes us feel that spiritually we've maybe found ourselves, a wee bit of the Braveheart spirit in here, I think. Anyway, that's Nellie's point of view and my point of view. If we look at the judgment card where career's concerned, it's very much kind of owning up to where you are, taking on board what you can be proud of, and also understanding what you may be not so proud of, and therefore letting that go and working towards a new way so that maybe those things don't happen. If you've made mistakes in the past and you're not proud of them, it's time to forgive yourself and move on, learning from those mistakes, and not being your own jailer as such. So at work, this can be very freeing, because once you've sort of forgiven yourself or understood that mistakes are human, you can then let them go and focus on the job at hand, focus on what you should be doing and doing well within your own limitations and your own ability. And that's why I like her. She's a major arcana card. She's wonderful in general, although she does bring out certain aspects that we maybe have to face up to. But in work, she can be an amazing card for getting ready for that next step, that promotion, that leap to self-employment, that move forward to forgive your team if you haven't made number 1 but you made number 3. That's all fine. Let's move on. And in job, stand up for yourself, stand up for people that are maybe being bullied a wee bit or are not being heard, and you'll get the best out of this card. If we look at health, again, it can mean a breakthrough, a kind of resurrection from a disease process. And that doesn't necessarily mean a cure. It can mean a new medication, a new treatment plan, a new way of looking at things, a new understanding, and that can be wonderful. Also, just because the woman has very red rosy cheeks, obviously from blowing her trumpet, but this redness has given me, sometimes I see that redness in the face, particularly in males, if they've got high blood pressure. So if you don't normally have rosy cheeks and you become more reddened in the face, it might be worthwhile getting your blood pressure checked out or some bloods done. But again, she's more a positive card than a negative card, and she does allow us to, even if we can't leave a disease process behind, we can leave a way of thinking behind. We can leave the way that is getting us down or the way that we're seeing it, and just believe in ourselves and believe in the future, because with the resurrection or judgment card, what there is a future. You know, it's the next step up, which is wonderful. If we look at relationships, the judgment can kind of sort of call time on relationships, so that we stop, we look at where we are within a long-term relationship, or even one that's not too far in, and we take this breather that says, how's it been so far? Are we okay with it? Would we like it to go ahead the same way, or do we need to change? Do we need to resurrect it into something else? Or is it something we need to just let go into the past? For many major relationships, the judgment card doesn't really mean moving on from a partner. It doesn't really move us towards divorce as such. It moves us to a better understanding of what the relationship could be, and allows us that insight and that kind of different way of looking at things, so that we can work with that and take it to where it's meant to be. So it's a very, very good relationship card as well. If you're looking for a relationship, it might be that you know, it is a good time for that. But also, again, I always get sort of brought to the red on the face, and I sometimes say that you might see a partner that's quite shy, might blush a lot, and they could be perfect for you. So watch out for a blusher, or someone that wears too much blusher, who knows. But either way, partnerships have good aspects with this card, as long as they're willing to move on to a better phase and a different phase. With finances, it's the same. It's about sort of looking back the way, seeing how good, bad or indifferent you've been with money, and standing in front of, say, your bank manager or your computer or your envelopes and going, right, I need to do this differently. And because of that, again, it can be a really, really good card for finances. Spiritually, people make great strides ahead with this card. They sometimes connect with their angels, connect with their spirit guides. So for those of you that are interested in the spiritual side, please do your meditations. Please do your meditation to talk to your spirit guide. Do your meditation to open your third eye. All these things are very much helped by the Judgment card. And also in the week ahead, the Judgment card, if you believe in something, or you believe in someone, stand up and be counted for them. There's some awful things going on in the world. There's things that we can protest. There's things we can stand up and say, that's not right. I mean, we might not be able to be out in the lines, fighting for this or doing that, but whether you're a keyboard warrior or you're passing on your points of view about things, the Judgment card allows us to make a difference. So even though you sign a petition, you think maybe that won't help, you could be the 100,000th signature that makes the difference of getting it heard or not. So if you're political, use this card to stand up and be counted, because I'm going to do a wee a kind of chat about the world, politics and spirituality soon, because I'm finding more and more. I'm very political, but mainly on my Facebook private page, and everything else is my spiritual stuff, but more and more they are who I am, and I know an awful lot of other people are finding political situations difficult and looking for spiritual advice within how they're feeling, and this card is a good start talking point for that. What we can do, how we can use spirituality maybe to help different situations, not religion. I'm not talking about religion. I'm talking about the inner belief, the inner sanctity that really tells us what's right and what's wrong. So lovely weekly tarot card. Yes, it brings up wake up calls, there's no doubt it does, but I'm excited for them. I'm ready for going. So for all of you that want to join me, let's stand up and be counted with this Judgment card, and even blow your own trumpet a wee bit. So I hope you liked this week's weekly tarot card. If you, I haven't got my book out to show you, but Tarot Novice to Pro is available in all Amazons. And I've been doing a wee bit work on an interview from Read an Egg for something that might come out in a wee while, but I'll let you know about that at some point. So anyway, have a good week ahead and enjoy a beautiful, beautiful card from the Major Arcana. Many blessings now. Bye.